Hey guys, it's Anna from Brightling Gardens, and today we are practicing harvesting seeds from my coneflower or Echinacea purpurea flowers. It is currently the first week of September here in northern Michigan, and a lot of my Echinacea or coneflower seed heads are nice and dry and ready to be harvested. Harvesting seeds was something that was so intimidating to me early on in my gardening journey, but once I got started with it, I was absolutely hooked, and I realized just how much money I was wasting by buying my seeds every year. So today I'm going to show you how to collect seeds on a very easy flower. Coneflowers have a really nice, very obvious seed center right in the middle of the flower. These are so easy to collect seeds from, so easy to save these seeds, and even easier to plant them in the spring. So if you have not collected seeds before, Echinacea is a great flower to start with. First things first, my very first goal when I'm harvesting coneflower seeds is to make sure that I'm harvesting seeds that are ready. So let's zoom on in so we can properly identify which of these seed heads are dried out and ready to be harvested. So typically when you're looking at harvesting coneflower seeds, you want to make sure that you're picking a coneflower plant where at least some of the seed heads have already lost their petals. So this guy right here is a really obvious one. You can see that the petals have all dried up and they've gone away. Now there are a few active flowers on this one. So the petals on this guy are certainly towards the end of their life cycle, but still going strong. And then back here, these guys are actually kind of a newer growth that we're seeing here. So this has multiple cycles of growth. I've got a fresh bud down here as well that hasn't even started to turn purple yet. So multiple stages of growth on this singular plant, we need to identify which of these seed heads are appropriate to be harvested for seeds. When you're looking at the seed heads, you want to make sure that you're picking a seed head that is completely dried out. So as attractive as this guy right here looks, when I run my thumb across the top of him, it's nice and flexible. These are really not that hard. They don't feel like hardened spikes. This guy has lost all of his petals, but he is not completely dried out yet. So he's actually not ready to be harvested quite yet. This guy down here, on the other hand, has certainly lost all of his petals. Looks like he lost them quite a while ago. And when I run my thumb gently over the top of the seed head, these spikes are almost like thorns. They're so stiff and so hard. This guy is definitely completely dried out. If I were to run my finger across this too hard, these would actually fling right out at me. So this seed head here is definitely ready to be harvested, and it looks like he's the only one that I have ready so far. Just for reference, I do think that this guy here is going to be ready for harvest probably in the next week or two at the most. So I think that with the right conditions, as long as he's getting good sun and not too much rain, this seed head's going to dry out really well and he'll be ready for harvest next for me. But this guy here is nice and dry and he's ready to be harvested today. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest him. And what I need to do that is just a small bowl and a pair of nice gardening shears. Now, the only reason that I'm actually using a bowl to put this seed head in is because there's a really high chance that he's actually going to lose some seeds as I move him. So I want to make sure that I'm collecting any potential seeds that might fall out as well. Go ahead and set your bowl down. I'm just going to grab this guy by the stem and I'm going to cut about 2 inches down. Once you've cut that seed head off, you're going to go ahead and flip that guy upside down. Keep them in your bowl. If you have other seed heads that you can harvest, you'll put those in there as well. And once you have those, we're going to head on into my workshop so I can show you how to split the seeds off from the head. I'm here in my little workshop. I do have my singular seed head that we went ahead and harvested there. Our next step is going to be to remove each individual seed from this seed head, which is way easier than it sounds. And from there, we're going to go ahead and separate the husks of the seeds from the seeds. So just a few more steps until you have your plantable seed ready. Let's zoom in so we can get a better look. Each seed head does contain several seeds on it. So we're going to go ahead and peel off this debris, which is just the dried or dead petals here. And then inside here, I did have some additional debris that fell in. Looks like I had a single seed fall in as well. So we'll dump that debris out. Okay. My next step is going to be to go ahead and pull out these spiky parts right from the center of this seed head here. They should pull out really easily. If you are getting any sort of resistance on that, then it's likely that your seed head just isn't quite dry enough. So you'll go ahead and let that sit and dry out for just a few more days before you try to do that again. All right, and then that is what I've harvested from my seed head. So they just look like long, slender little spikes that are in there. Now, each of these is actually not a seed. What you see a lot of this debris is actually the husk that's around the seed. So my next step is going to be to go ahead and separate the seed from that husk. And one of the easiest ways to separate the seed from the husk is to actually put a little lid on the container that you're using and give it a gentle shake. Your goal is just to use some friction to try to break up some of that dried husk from around the seed. Every once in a while, you'll go ahead and open it up to take a peek. We do have a few of those seeds hanging out there. So when you shake it, the idea is that the lighter husks will actually start to separate from the heavier seeds. And this is kind of something that just comes a little bit more with experience, but eventually you will start to see your seeds sink down to the bottom. Some seed heads produce a lot more than other seed heads. This seed head here is actually not nearly as full as I was hoping he would be, that's for sure. But typically the viability of the coneflower seeds that I've harvested is very good compared to other native varieties. So like I said, if you are new to this process and haven't done seed collecting before, or maybe haven't even sown native seeds, this is a great one to start with. The success rate is just so high. It's really, really beginner friendly. Okay, so we've gotten a handful of seeds. I'm gonna just show you guys what these look like before we move on to the next step. So these right here are some of my coneflower seeds. And I would say I probably have about triple this amount in that little container right there. So I just need to get them sifted out. But once I do, this is all I'm going to be left with. This is the remaining seeds, so this is going to be what I save for next year's planting. So we've collected the seeds that we can from that singular seed head. And of course, collecting the seeds is a super important part of the process, but perhaps equally as important is saving your seeds. Since I am a complete nerd, I of course have a seed saving kit, which does seem really extra and very dorky, but I have to say this has saved my butt on more than one occasion. This is actually my second one. This is a brand new one here. And I use it to save both my vegetable seeds and my flower seeds and keep them labeled and in a dark, safe location until I'm ready to plant again. So that's what we're going to do today. This one has individual little canisters for each of my seeds, as well as these handy dandy little labels here. So I'm going to not only write what the seed variety is, but also what year I collected it on this label here, since you want to use most of your seeds within a couple years if possible. So we'll go ahead and gently place those in there. It is okay to use your fingertip to press into a seed to pick it up. Try very hard not to crush that seed, because most seeds, once they're crushed, are no longer viable seeds. Once you have your seeds collected, you can go ahead and label them, pop them into your safe container. I like this because it is completely blackout, which is what seeds need. If you don't have a kit like this, that's completely fine. Just make sure that you're storing your seeds in a dry, safe location. I do encourage you to use a little plastic container, like an old medicine container or something along those lines, over a paper envelope, just because it helps to keep the dampness out. And dampness is the single worst thing that can happen to your stored seeds. Seeds like to be stored just like your root vegetables do. So we want a cool, dry location that's somewhere between 45 and 60 degrees if possible. Definitely keep them out of any direct light, and again, make sure they're safe from any potential moisture, and that does include humidity that's in the air. Seed collection is only one part of this exceptionally fun process. If you are interested in winter sowing or cold stratifying your coneflower seeds, I have a series of videos that will help you on your planting journey. Check them out in the description below. I'll also link them up above so you have easy access to these fun videos. That's all I have for my quick and easy coneflower seed collection tutorial today. It is fall here in northern Michigan, which means it's seed collection season. We love to collect seeds from everything from our greenhouse vegetables all the way over to our native flower gardens. If that's something that you're interested in learning more about, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel and set up your alerts so you know when the next video launches. Thanks so much for spending a little bit of time here on our channel today. It sure does help out small businesses like ours. I appreciate you tuning in with us today, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye-bye.